you think get the spotlight off of me? That women make too many chain assumptions.
I'm gonna back up before I get myself in hot water. Hold on, just hear me out.
No, I'm saying if you get comfortable enough, it'll get to that point.
I don't know, man. I think
that when you start not putting effort into your relationship because you're just so comfortable with it being there.
I agree with you in the statement.
Because I feel like there's a lot of pride in this room.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I am prideful.
I could share.
Yeah. I got a question. Yeah, do you think trolling is the only thing that bonds us?
I think trolling is the only thing that makes me like you guys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's not necessarily that bonds us. We're bonded because, like, we share a lot of the same social circles.
Oh, that's the only thing that bonds us.
I think you guys value trolling in your relationships a lot more than I do.
Really? I think with no troll, there's no friendship, which is weird.
I think I tend to like to make the people around me feel good about themselves.
Okay.
And you guys like to do the opposite.
That's not true. My trolling makes people smile and laugh.
I'm kind of hurt, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm kind of conflicted. Because I know I'm not the number one troll. And I prove it. But if I prove it, there goes the fun. And then we're not even friends.
There's 1,000,000%.
We're not even friends. There's no troll.
There's 1,000,000% chance that you're the number one troll.
What is this?
It's you and Kiro are literally tied for one. There is no other alternative as to who's the number one troll in our group.
Imagine a friendship with no troll and then that's the fall down.
I think you're the only person that trolls in our group that like makes my insides twist a little bit.
And literally lives under a bridge. Because you're a troll.
Like George will troll and I'll be like, haha, that's like not funny. And then I'll like try to ignore it, phase it out. But you'll troll and I'm like, am I a bad human being? Because you say stuff that make me doubt myself. It's just kind of crazy.
How do you feel about that statement?
I feel great.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Learn things that you want to learn.
I got a fun fact for you.
Hope you learned something like that. I hope you not.
I'm an idiot.
If you have any questions, don't ask us.
All right, welcome to the Idiot Expert Podcast. I'm your co-host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, George.
And we got a guest for you guys. Mr. Arsany was Bokter.
The 5K champion.
I'm feeling all right.
How would you describe... Oh, we should do for every guest to describe him in one word.
Oh, so we're describing Arsany in one word.
Yeah, go.
You just putting me on the spot right now. I need a minute to... I did this part. This minute.
I'm going to say jolly.
Jolly?
Mm-hmm.
Jolly? Okay, I'll take it.
Deceptive.
Ooh.
Why we get like that? Why you get
I hit you with deceptive.
Could we elaborate or is that just it?
It's a one word, bro.
No, we just end the bit there.
You gotta figure it out.
We
can't revisit?
No.
Okay, let me choose a positive word. Because
No,
I just realized
no, that's your word.
people are gonna think he's a negative guy,
so
dude.
Saluis. We're here on vacation and we're having a good time. And
Coming to you live from Miami, Florida. We're not in Miami.
Yeah. We are having a vacation at Pashoy's house without Pashoy. And we want to talk about a couple of things. George, what do you want to talk about this week?
So today, I'm going to talk about the money-making scheme I've been put on with Shopify. And how you don't make money off of it.
It's a good start. It's a good start. I'm going to get deep and philosophical. What are you going to do, Arsany?
I'm gonna ask for what I'm hoping is gonna be good relationship advice
From the person who called you deceptive and the person that twists your insides and makes you think if you're a good person or not.
Yep.
This tells you everything that you need to know about our friendship. Let's move. Let's go on.
You want to start with Arsany first? I'm so curious.
I'm down. I feel like your parts will be way more entertaining than whatever.
No, I think mine's going to be contrary to my personality. Pretty serious.
All right, let's start with Arsany.
Okay.
You're a guest of honor.
Okay, cool. So, recently,
First of all, relationships. Women, you never mind. Continue. I had to end that sentence.
Oh, don't worry. The sexism's gonna come. Don't
Okay,
worry, don't
okay,
worry.
okay.
Yeah.
It's misogyny,
From-
not
that-
sexism.
from
It's
him.
different.
It's okay.
Okay. Well,
Massage my knee. Sorry.
I found myself in a relatively new relationship,
Oh,
and after I've been enjoying it so far. All's
I would
good.
hope so.
But like when I talk to you guys about your
wait, hold on.
Whoa, hold on.
Hold on. Hold
Careful
on.
how you phrase that.
Wait, what are you talking about?
when I talk to other folks
Okay.
Yeah.
about their
Yeah.
more mature relationships,
Okay, other folks.
I
Yeah.
was filled with love, and we wouldn't want our lives to be any other way.
Facts.
they tend to always like complain a lot about.
Whoa, who does that to you?
We won't name names, but there's like, I'm gonna be in trouble. Oh, I just want to play video games. Like,
Some people more than others. Agreed.
yeah.
That one's not crazy. Yeah.
That one's just going to be a
Wanna
problem.
take your
Every
advice?
person has.
Oh, why is she so illogical?
Ooh.
Oh,
That's crazy.
stuff like that, you know?
Well, first things first, you should never or even think about your woman in that way if you're in a new relationship. Can we agree on that?
What?
Or you should never even think or like see the person that you're with as an annoyance or an inconvenience.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you
I'm gonna disagree with you
in what way?
because just like this vacation is proving, and with enough time, you're just gonna annoy each other, which is fine. But the love you have for each other surpasses any type of like little small annoyances.
I think it's different in a relationship than in a friendship. Like
Nah.
we can being here, like any annoyances that we have, right? We can like brush off as whatever. I'm annoyed, but this is just someone that I'm in a vacation with. Like, it's not the end all be all, right? You can kind of excuse a lot of stuff in your head with your friends because they're not your responsibility. You're not their responsibility. You're not building a life with them. You're going to be each
disagree
other's
again.
lives.
I think I feel like I built a life with you guys.
So you think you should never be annoyed with your significant other?
I think it's difficult to speak about them that way when.
I don't think it's difficult at all. I'm not gonna lie.
Yikes!
Shout out to Monica. I love you.
I think it's pretty normal to be annoyed.
Oh, to be
with
annoyed for
someone
sure.
Very close, yeah.
But I think you should watch the way that you speak about your partner.
Okay.
I'm trying to make myself look good here, so
Okay.
it's
You're
working so
saying
far.
the watch how you speak about your partner in public?
And to other people, in
To other
general,
people.
like your tongue will guide your relationship, right? If you start talking to people like, "Oh, this person's annoying me," you're gonna find that person annoying. And like I said, if I have that conversation with you about Justin, it's like, dude, Justin really annoyed me on this vacation. It's fine, like, right? Me and Justin are always gonna be friends. Well, maybe, depending on how this thing goes, right? But with a partner, with the person that you're trying to build the rest of your life with, it's going to be really hard if you're trying to live with that person or you're trying to build a future with this person, and you're like, man, they really annoyed me. It's like, well, you better learn to get used to that, or you get used to whatever it is that annoyed you, because there's no getting away. There's no, okay, this was a fun vacation, time to go back to our separate homes. Like, you will eventually build a life with this person.
Do you bring up that it annoys you?
Oh yeah. No, if something annoys me about my partner, I bring it up to her and we talk about it.
What if it's like not like something that's necessarily wrong? I can't. I don't have the specifics, but I'm like trying
Oh,
to
I
think.
thought you were trying to like keep it vague. 'Cause
No. She like kicks off her shoes in front of the door.
Ugh.
Like
Bangers.
that actually, I guess that's not being tidy. That's a bad example, but
That's tough because
I'm trying to think.
when I think about relationships and just like the things that annoy you, I don't know. I think this is the difference between guys and girls. Is
Oh,
we're getting
Here we
into
go.
it. I think
here's
men.
the sexism.
I think men are just less likely to get annoyed.
Mm.
I think we're way like we have this mindset of we want to make our partners happy. Not that they don't have that mindset. I think that they do, but we find less things of importance, I guess, to get annoyed by it. And if something is annoying, I just say it. Like even if she continues to do it, I'm just like, it's annoying, but just like it doesn't affect me in any way whether I'm annoyed or not.
Okay.
Versus thing. On the other hand, if your partner's annoyed by something, she will let you know. The issue is she won't let you forget.
Oh, interesting.
That's where I draw a difference
That's
between.
a statement.
That's a statement.
Watch how you speak about your partner
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying watch how you speak about your partner, because
Okay.
as he's doing it.
whoa. This is general relationship
it's
advice,
general,
dog.
vague.
This is a podcast, all right? We're here
no, I
to
got you.
share our
Sorry.
insights on years of relationship knowledge.
Okay, my bad.
Okay. I have a list of just like a bunch of like questions I could throw out. We could tangent in any direction we want.
Okay, I'm down.
But I wanted to start with a spicy little left field question. Maybe you guys have experience, maybe you don't. What do you do if you don't like her friends?
Ooh, that's a good one, actually.
I met a couple of her friends. They're cool. This isn't
Oh,
personal.
okay.
I was
Dang,
just like
shots fired at whoever.
future friends I may meet.
Future
Maybe
friends.
I'm like, oh no, are you hanging out with this person?
Have you dealt with that, George?
I don't think so. I think a lot of the people that
Bronchosaurus
has around. Did I just dox my girlfriend?
Yes.
That's fine. You doxed Monica.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll put a picture and address and everything.
Yeah,
And
that's
edit.
God.
lit. Also, we can just like put their Instagrams and stuff on the
Yeah,
link
I
in
got
the
you.
description below.
I got you guys.
I don't know. There are people that I'm just like, whatever, not my favorite like cup of tea, but not my friend.
But not to the point where you actually dislike them.
Yeah, no, I've never
Because
gotten to a
not
point where I'm like,
Not your preference and disliking them is two different things.
yeah. Plus, I have a genuine trust in
Bronchosaurus.
that if that person's her friend, if that person is someone that she values and cares about, there's a reason, and there's probably something that she sees that I don't see.
I've been in that situation.
Okay.
And I've told my significant other I just don't like them.
How did that conversation go down?
It's met with like, which again, I feel like I'm a little bit colder than you guys, but I don't think as history as a reason why to be friends. I can be grateful for if we were friends at a time and point like in a point in our lives, but people grow, and it's not so much like, oh, I hate this person, but if we go on two different paths and I don't want someone like you in my life, I'm not going to hold on just because we used to be really good friends.
Let me ask you this: would you, let's say that you see that this person, a friend of your partner, either of you, is having a negative impact on your partner's personality, like they genuinely just like are adopting certain mannerisms that you see as like negative. Do you tell them to stop hanging out with that person, or do you just raise your concern that like, hey, this is something I don't like? You figure it out.
I would probably just raise the concern because I don't want to have to like control every aspect of my significant other's life, but it needs to be pointed out, and I trust them to make whatever decision they
I feel like you're the
feel is
former.
right.
I feel like you're the former.
Dude, it just depends on how toxic that person is.
Yeah.
Like if you're making my relationship with with the person that I love more difficult,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm not telling you not to be their friend. I'm telling you not to bring them around me. And like again, I've never been in that situation.
Wait,
but
that's not crazy.
not even. I mean, that's just
That's
my
not-
nice way of saying please stop hanging out with them.
Yeah, but like, don't bring them around me is like, they can still continue being friends. Just I don't want to be around them. Won't change the fact that they're still being a negative impact to your significant other.
Yeah.
All right. Do you see your partner hanging out with somebody that's like a friend who's just like toxic, whatever, yada yada yada, as a reflection on them?
It depends on actually it depends on what type of stuff they're doing. So like, let's say like their best friend is just a nightclub
Kind of
every
person.
weekend,
And they want them to go out with them every time.
and they go out every time. It was like, yeah, then probably I'm not the man for you if that's the lifestyle that you look for. It is a reflection, but like sometimes people are just. I think people hold on to friendships just because of history, and personality gets shown, and you see it, and you're like, that's actually not a healthy relationship. And so you've outgrown it. You should move on.
But if that person is still friends, like and shares, I'm not gonna say the toxic traits, but like is still really good friends with him, regardless of whether it's for history or not.
Yeah.
And they have a tendency to like bring out these same mannerisms whenever they're around that person. Around you, it seems like it's like a normal, everyday, like like you're good. You have a great relationship. You're healthy. Yada yada yada. But when you have this person, like after going out with this person, right? Like they grab dinner or whatever. All of a sudden, like some of these traits start coming out. Like, how do you handle that?
I don't like it. If
It
she
doesn't
wants-
stop. She's
No,
still
I can't-
still great friends with this person. She's still like
I'm
is
not-
buying into the whatever that the friend is feeding.
I don't mind confrontation in my relationship. So like people can say, but it doesn't stop and it doesn't stop. Well, if I love you enough, I'm having that confrontation every single time it happens until it gets brought up. And if that never changes, you're telling me you don't respect this relationship or what I'm raising as a concern. You either say it's probably not a big concern to you, or you don't even respect my thoughts and wants.
Man, I just wish one of us had a story about a friend. Oh, actually, we do. Never mind. But I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I don't know. I think confrontation is like pretty, like when you get to a certain point, again, I feel like people in new relationships doesn't seem like it's a big deal. But like once you get after that first fight or whatever, I feel like confrontation is like, all right, it's fine. I know we can get through fights. So now it's not a problem. So let me address these issues and then like it won't be something that I'm scared of to do.
I will say too that like once you're in a much longer term relationship, like exactly what you said, like getting into confrontation or getting into like spats about whatever, friends, finances, whatever. Like once you're like confident enough in each other, those arguments are like whatever. Like we don't agree right now. We'll work it out. We know how to work it out. We've worked it out multiple times.
Okay.
But there's always the lingering fights, and
That's only for George.
hey, that's not true. Everyone has lingering fights.
Me and Monica are perfect. We fix it right away.
Oh,
Right, babe?
he just takes it. Yeah, he didn't make a face.
Is
What-
nothing wrong with it? Is there something wrong with that?
No, you're good, dude.
There's something wrong with that?
There was something wrong with you kissing at the camera and saying, "Hey, babe." That was disgusting.
Oh, that was not taking it.
I just
Yeah.
want you to know
Oh,
that
okay.
you've essentially just kissed our entire audience. All 3 people are now offended by your
Okay, but back to it. What if you hit a stalemate? Like, what if your significant other truly believes that this toxic friend has true value to their life?
That's a good one.
Well, then that's where you hit a crossroad,
Okay.
and now you got to decide whether or not.
Absolutely
Like
not.
if they're, it's a crossroad.
You give them an ultimatum. Them or me. I'm kidding.
I wouldn't call it ultimatum, but I'd lay out what you are saying, what she is saying. If she's like, no, this toxic relation or my friend is very important for me, blah, blah. And if you laid out what this friend is, what I think is negative about this friend,
Mm-hmm.
because it's negatively affecting you, and you're like, no, it's just like, all right, you don't respect what I'm saying. If you're not taking that into factor. If you're not trying to find the type of compromise or type of midway, you're just saying, no, this is a friend of mine and that's it at the end of the day. There's no type of talk or conversation. It's like, all right, then you don't really respect this relationship.
So it sounds like you try to logically lay out the pros and cons of having this friend, and the cons outweigh the pros. So she should have it within herself to reason in the correct direction.
Yeah. Not to say
Okay.
all right, I'm right, but just there's a conversation and has to be some type of middle.
I see. That's a good segue, because my next question regards the logical thinking of
Oh, baby, I got something to say. Let's go.
the
Give it to
significant
me.
other. So your argument works well if your significant other is capable of thinking logically, breaking things down.
Okay, hold on. No.
No.
Say it.
Oh, no,
Preach it.
no.
Preach it. Preach
I
it.
feel like we're going into really bad territory.
No.
I'm about it.
We're gonna
Okay,
tread
because
carefully.
First, you prefaced it that I want to say George believes this, and not me. That all women are illogical, and that's why we say that he's the one that's sexist. So let's throw all that notion towards George, and then
Yeah.
Throw it at me. I'll be the
So
bad guy.
now
Go
we can
ahead.
continue.
Go ahead. I'll be the bad
yeah,
guy.
this question is more, we'll say,
towards George.
feeding into my host's delusion of
Oh, I'm delusional now. Okay, just wait till you're in a
but we're gonna hear him out.
6 months into your relationship. Let me know.
So I
Hey,
guess
I still love you though.
we preface. What do you mean when when you say when you say maybe your lady, maybe just all women?
I will
are
confidently say this.
illogical.
I will confidently say this, and I understand that it will come off bad. I understand that people will be like, "He's sexist." No, I'm not. First of all, when I say women, I've never said women are illogical. That's the first thing.
Okay. But sure.
In general, right? You can have conversations with anybody, have a great time. You can agree, disagree, whatever. Not a big deal. Where I find that there's a huge difference between men and women is when there is, let's say, there's a stretch of how things mean, right? So like me, or no, I'm not gonna use me as an example because that's gonna get me in hot water, and I'm not trying to go there, right? But let's say you don't, I don't know, get her flowers for like a couple months.
Okay.
That seems personal.
That's
Right?
an issue?
Huh? No, it's never been an issue. I'm giving
Uh-oh.
the most generic
Arsany.
example that I can possibly give to make sure that it is a good example, right? It's just
I
very
think he's siding
generic.
with you. I think that was that's an issue? Question mark.
Right, it shouldn't be an issue.
Sorry, go on.
I think some people
I'm
would
learning.
find that to be an issue.
I am learning. That's all we'll say.
Oh, this is gonna be a bad one. This is gonna be a bad one.
It goes from, like, as a guy, right?
Yeah.
We have a very simple, oh, you just want flowers. Okay, cool, let me get you flowers. Problem solved. But no, I think it oftentimes goes to a much deeper feeling that is not there. So, for example, let's say you haven't bought flowers in a few months.
Okay.
Wow, do you even love me? It's like what?
Uh-oh.
Where? How? Where did that come from? Like,
This is getting personal.
it's not.
Now,
That's what I mean by illogical. Is
Okay.
that an action will be read as something that is not. And we'll listen to the guy who wants to make himself
Question.
look like a saint over here.
Question.
okay.
No, I'm not gonna understand. Is it illogical if the reasons that are the base foundation is emotion? So like it's not so much like I can logically understand why she would feel that way. You haven't bought me
Right.
flowers in a couple of years, like this is an action.
Okay.
Do you still care? Do you still put the same amount of attention and love into this relationship? That thought process, I wouldn't call it illogical because I can see how you got there.
Well, I think it's narrow-minded. She's too focused on this material thing that is flowers, when maybe if she does feel unloved, maybe it's coming from something that is being shown in your behavior versus your lack of delivering flowers.
Nah, but what if
agree with you on that
the
statement very
delivering
much.
of flowers is one of a million avenues that you can take? And yeah, you could do the other ones, but she's just asking for flowers because it popped into her mind. She saw flowers on Instagram or whatever it is. It's not that she specifically needs the flowers.
Okay.
It's the action itself.
So she just wants a reminder.
Yeah.
Hey, give me a cool conspiracy theory.
The government is made of lizard people.
Like, how about illogical?
wait, George can't come.
Like an actual conspiracy theory that exists.
He's gonna get into control.
That exists, like one that exists.
Wait, that does exist.
Yeah.
Is that a thing that people think that the
Yeah.
government is run by
Oh,
lizard people?
Oh, he's feigning ignorance because of his government job. That's crazy.
Look at this guy.
I've literally never heard this
You look
conspiracy.
like a lizard. I see it, dude.
Conspiracy theories.
Okay.
There's a logical reasoning that people can have.
Is that me?
Huh? This is gonna be a long episode,
Give me a
boys.
conspiracy
A conspiracy theory.
I have a list.
No,
Conspiracy
go ahead.
theories, right?
People
People have a logical frame of reasoning as to why those conspiracy.
Whoa.
Dang
Dang
it!
I'm gonna zoom in on that
I'm
one.
being exposed
We did it.
live.
We found it.
Oh,
They have logical reasoning as to why it exists.
Yeah.
And some conspiracy theories are more rational than others. But at the end of the day, it's like if you tell me that the earth is flat, it's like, I don't know. At some point, I've provided you with enough evidence to show you that that is not. It is illogical to think. Is it rational? You can.
Wait,
Put
yeah, I was gonna
pieces
say
together.
rational and illogical. That you gotta definitely separate those.
I don't want to get stuck on. You want to argue on whether things are like.
No, because logic gets there, right? But it's like it's irrational for you to
okay,
think that.
then I think we're talking more in terms of rationality. Then
Okay, so rational.
So
let's-
we should be using that word. Then.
I'm down with to use rational.
Okay.
Okay, now what's your question for rational, irrational? What do you? Like, you asked him, what do you mean?
Okay, yeah. So the conclusion is that they jump.
Ooh,
I gotta be
they.
careful. They.
There you go.
That was
Welcome
fine.
to the dark
Chill
side.
I
out.
like it. You think get the spotlight off of me? That women make too many chain assumptions.
I'm gonna back up before I get myself in the hot water. Hold on, just hear me out. Hear me out, okay? Because for God knows what reason, if this podcast ever takes off, I don't need people out there being like, "See, he's a misogynist." There is no like hard rule for any one thing or any one person. All people are different.
PR
All
right
people
now.
have
Okay.
It's all PR right now. What he's doing.
fine.
But
It's PR,
Just
right?
skip to the butt.
Yeah, dude.
I think
Just give
that
it
there
to
are you are more likely to deal with what's the word that we used?
Irrational.
Yikes! I'm gonna get
That's so
that
funny.
when you're in a relationship, and I mean specifically in a relationship, there has a tendency to be more jumping to conclusions or a more positive word of irrationality that I'm trying to use.
Okay, I have a suggestion. What if this is just their way of trolling?
Ooh.
Dude, then female kind got us, bro.
No, 100%.
They
That's
got
the
us
longest,
good.
longest con I've ever seen in my life. That's professional.
That is,
I thought I was good.
they've been doing this for generations.
Yeah, dude, that's a generational troll. That's insane.
That's funny. Wait, so okay, let's say your woman's like, you didn't buy me flowers. Do you even love me? Do you look at her and be like, are you dumb? Or do you look at her and be like, what did I do that makes you think I don't love you?
That depends. Do you want to have a healthy relationship with you?
Oh,
Realistically,
no, wait. Go ahead, George. You didn't let him finish this one. See, that depends if you want a healthy. So, for a healthy relationship, what do you do?
The answer is you one remember where it's coming from, and remember. I'll get serious because I don't want. If we're gonna have a healthy relationship, it boils down to where is this coming from, right? You have to figure out where her feelings are coming from. Try to figure out, what is it that is deeper that makes her feel unloved? What is it that makes her feel, whatever she brought to you?
okay.
What I found is that it's not, the action isn't always the main issue. It always goes deeper than that. It's always, how, and you have to validate it. You can't just be like, if they feel something, if they feel like they're unheard or whatever, regardless of whatever the action is, whether it's irrational or not, that's something that your partner feels. And if you love them, if you care for them, then it doesn't matter the reasoning. I'm going to figure out how to fix it.
Okay.
Now, if you want to have an unhealthy relationship,
What do you do then?
you do the exact same thing. I'm not getting in trouble.
Okay. Good call.
I think there's definitely roles in place, and people trade roles and like certain things. But I do think a role of a supporter role, is truly you take the time to understand where that action comes from,
Okay.
and yeah, you kind of do that action.
I see.
The longer you are in a relationship, the more you can let the small things out. like early on in a relationship, there's just no point. It's not something that genuinely bothers you, right? Like if someone um, is not buying you flowers on a regular basis, like it's okay. That's not a big deal. Yada yada. But like after being in a relationship for X amount of time, it's like, well, now it's like, all right, I'm gonna be with this person for the rest of their life. Maybe I do want flowers. Maybe it's not something that they considered before.
Interesting.
It's the comfortability.
Yeah.
It's like you go on this chase, right?
Yeah.
And then it's kind of new, and that's the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
And then when you get to a point where it just feels like you're hanging out, which I think people really need to check in relationships, you need to do certain acts to like have that intimacy. So like the act of giving flowers is an intimate thing that might give that same feeling as if like, ooh, is this guy gonna text me or not? Like it's like that
Okay.
nice intimate type of thing that you don't have with anybody else.
Okay.
I want to follow up with you on something that I just want to make sure. Like you said, couples should check if they're just hanging out, or
Yeah, I feel like when you get to a point where it just feels like you're just hanging out, couples need to really understand and like be aware of when that happens.
Is it a bad thing to just
I
be
do.
hanging out?
Yeah, I do. I think when you get real comfortable and you don't have like a date night or something that's intimate, like or you don't give flowers or you don't do something and it just feels like I'm hanging out with somebody. Which like I'm not saying like you can't kick back with your wife or your husband or whatever, but when it's constantly it just feels like I'm just around you. Right? You want to have that little like special kind of factor in a very intimate relationship.
I don't get that.
Yeah, because then I'm just having a roommate or just like I'm hanging out with the boy.
I mean,
Hanging out with your significant other.
I don't know what you do with your partner, but
Nah, hanging out with jokes aside, hanging out with your significant other is much different than hanging out with you guys.
yeah, but like, don't tell me that hanging out with your partner at home or whatever is the same as hanging. It's different. Like
No,
that
I'm
person,
saying if you get comfortable enough, it'll get to that point.
I don't know, man. I could
I
never.
think that when you start not putting effort into your relationship because you're just so comfortable with it being there.
But now you're talking about whether or not you're putting in effort. This
Yeah,
is,
and then I feel like when you're just hanging out, you're not really putting effort. I'm not saying you can't hang out because you can't like do date night and do all this stuff like every day. But like when it just feels like hanging out for months,
no, I consider every
the
moment that I spend
norm.
with my partner special. So,
that's why she's mad at you for not getting flowers.
well, first of all, there's no damn flowers. That's not a thing.
Hey man,
That's fine. I know I won't get in trouble for that, so I'm good. I don't give a damn. You can troll all you want. I picked the one thing that I'm not getting in trouble for.
I know you get it, just you don't think you're getting in trouble, but you don't get in trouble.
it
Bring
sounds
it.
like you're just like trying to say like you should like always try to go like that extra mile to like show that like you love your significant other.
Yeah, I mean you should always want to try to find ways to appreciate your significant other. And when you do these small acts, for me personally, small acts mean way bigger than like a grand gesture, right? And so a flowers or a cooked dinner or let's go dress up and have a night together or you just give a little note, like any of these like small things. Y'all ain't giving me notes and I don't want that.
True.
Because all I care when I'm thinking about, hanging out with you guys, it's just like, bro, I just show up, it's whatever. I got no expectations, and we could just be chilling, and it's just normal, like everyday life. Like I don't really care. But like when both people really care about a relationship, like it takes time and effort, and I feel like it feels a lot more different than hanging out with you guys.
I won't argue semantics. I do agree with what he's saying for the most part. The one thing that I would add though is watch what it is that person values, right? So like the person, like what he said, like those small things that you can do for people mean more to him than the grand gestures. Just because you're doing something and you think it's showing appreciation or showing love to this person, whether it's like writing them a note, whatever, they might not see it that way. They might say, oh, he just wrote me a note. He might like understand that the person who's receiving it should also know that it's something that you're doing to show appreciation. Yeah, I agree.
Just because you don't.
I'm just adding on. I'm not changing what you're saying.
It sounded like you said you prefaced it with, I'm going to argue semantics.
No, I'm not going to argue semantics because I don't think like the whole like hanging out every day thing. Like I think hanging out every day is, or like just because like I call it hanging out. but it's my partner. Like I think that is like the most special thing that you can do with a person is just spend your time with them. Even if you're just sitting on the couch watching TV, I think that's a moment in itself that you're just like, I'm good with this.
I think it's nice to appreciate hanging out with someone. So you think if you're just watching TV or doing something very simple, but I do think that you should try to find times to kind of put a little bit more effort into
Uh,
having a special day. So like if you're constantly just watching TV and just constantly just hanging out, I feel like that's when you get complacent.
and again, that's why I said I'm not going to argue semantics because I think it's just how you show it in those moments.
No, but you're saying you don't really need those special. Like if I were to hang out,
No, I'm not saying that.
You're fine
It's
with
nice.
just
It's
hanging
nice.
out.
It's nice to do, and you'll have other people who do it at different consistencies and different rates, which is why I was saying know the person that you're with and whether they want those kind of things and how they want to be shown that love. Right? Like for some people, maybe I need to have a dinner once a month. Maybe for some people it needs to be more frequent. Maybe for other people it's less frequent. Maybe it's a different act altogether. And that's why I was saying I'm not going to argue semantics because it's shown differently in different ways to different people.
no, let's take that aside. And we're arguing two different points.
I'm not arguing.
No, watch. Because the way you reacted to me saying just hanging out, you even just said like, no, I'm not like, you're not with me on that sentiment.
Because every moment that I'm with my partner, I consider it as a special moment.
Right.
It's
So
not
we're
just
on
nothing.
two different sides.
Sure.
All right. So one side, I'm saying people get complacent if you're just hanging out. On the other side, you're like, in those moments you're hanging out, those are special to you. So you don't share that sentiment where like, I don't think that's a possibility for me in my relationship because hanging out to me is special.
But you still do the things. Like life just kind of consists of doing moments and things that you live in life. Like taking them out, dinners, like that's just part of life, I guess.
No,
To
but
me, it's just as much as hanging out.
you're not aware, or that doesn't come up on your like thought process of like wanting to do stuff. You're just hanging out, and if it happens, it happens.
I
Like
see.
those dinners and special things.
Like, are we saying different things here? 'Cause I feel like I'm not.
Maybe. So it sounds like Justin is trying to put more like intentionality behind like a dinner, and you just kind of like Friday, let's do a nice dinner, and like it sounds like you're saying the same thing.
That's what I
No, here's
think.
what I argue, because if you are on that where you just like, all right, if it happens, it happens. I might be projecting, to be honest, but I feel like that will eventually lead to you just being complacent if you're not.
In what way
intentional.
complacent?
If it's like, yeah, okay, if we have let's if it's a Friday, let's have a dinner or whatever.
Okay.
And now if you sometimes life, like you blink and 7 months go by,
Okay.
right? And so if you get into a mode in relationships where everything's just normal, then you lose the honeymoon phase. You lose the intimacy of something like this, like kind of special.
Mm.
If it just becomes normal.
If it becomes normal, I think that's where maybe we're differing. I'm not trying to like say anything. I'm just saying that I think what it seems like it's boiling down to is intention, right? So if your intention is to be purposeful and whatever in the relationship, or to just not have it feel lackluster, to not have it feel like it's a normal part of everyday life. But if you're intentional with everything that you're doing, wouldn't you categorize that as like the small things that you're talking about?
Well, we are kind of saying the same thing, but here's where I hardcore like differ from you. I don't know about you both, but you, George, I would say if you were more intentional, you wouldn't fall into the situation where I fear that couples get complacent. But on your flip side, and tell me if I'm wrong, you're saying that because it's a normal, or like not normal, because I use normal as a negative, but like you make most of your time together. That just naturally happens. So you won't ever fall into that complacent area.
If you're always intentional with your relationship, I can't see how you can become complacent. Yeah.
No, but you're saying it just happens.
Mm,
Where I'm being the more intentional side. Where
I think we're saying the same thing. I don't know.
we'll move on. I
Yeah.
don't think we're saying the same thing. But go ahead, Arsany.
Okay.
Damn, we threw him for a loop.
It's
God.
When
I
three
think
guys
we-
talk about relationship
Broke
advice,
Arsany. Yo, tell me in the comments if I'm maybe just like, who's going crazy?
he just wants to be right, guys. It's fine. You can tell him he's right.
I think I gained something from both of you guys.
Well,
And
actually, I want to know your takeaways.
I liked how
No, we're not done. It's just like so far from that conversation.
Yeah.
you kind of you made it sound like every second you hang out with the
Bronchosaurus.
special, and
Or intentional.
you're a lady.
Oh,
We'll beep it out. Don't worry about it.
is special.
so many beeps.
I like that because like the complacency could be like you're just like sitting, you're watching like anime with your girl, and you like forget she's there, and you're like, anime's great.
And not just that, but if your girl never watched anime before and you're introducing her to a whole new part of your life, it's an intentional act.
No, it's not.
I think so. George gets to see the stars.
I will say
appear
this,
in
and
her
like
eyes.
she might get embarrassed that I'm saying that she watches anime, but like
Why?
my favorite, like one of my favorite activities to do with her, and it's intentional, is watching anime because I have such a like smorgasbord of emotions whenever I watch
Is that what
anime.
cheese and meat?
Huh? Yeah, that's
Okay.
no, that's a charcuterie board.
Oh, okay.
I'm learning the differences. No, but you get like so many different emotions and like storytelling, but whatever. I have it's a thing that I really, really enjoy. And I find that doing that with her and watching her discover her own joy for it is amazing. Like I watch more her reactions than I'm watching the anime. Like
Yeah.
watching her react to that is like has been an awesome experience that I love in our relationship. I don't know where I went with that or why I was saying this, but I said
Yeah, I was just waiting till he's done. Go ahead, Arsany.
But yeah, so I like what you said about like
oh yes, intentional.
enjoying even like the small moments, and then you said to like approach every occasion, or
I
not
wouldn't
every
say every
occasion, yeah,
occasion.
not every occasion, but like try to remind yourself that like special moments are important, and to try to like throw those in throughout your weeks,
Yeah.
months, whatever.
Or however you show it, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think we're
Yeah.
saying
I'm
anything
right.
all that
That's
different,
fine.
What's like the most special thing you've done? But then like yeah, I guess like you proposed, so maybe that's it. So maybe that's it.
Justin's like, nah.
Nah, I bought her is like really.
We went to Chuck E. Cheese one time. It was lit.
No, kind of like I don't know. Took her to a European country.
Fair.
That's actually lit.
That's actually pretty
Good sandwiches.
good.
Good. Yo, there's an entire podcast about the sandwiches, bro.
Facts.
It's too funny.
Yeah, is that all your questions?
Okay, I'm. We're through one of five.
Lit.
That's what I'm saying,
Let's
bro.
get to the podcast.
These
Let's
conversations can go on forever.
Let's go.
Okay, but like I think we like kind of answered some of that.
Nah,
We'll work
go
it
through
out.
them.
Okay, next question I want to ask is okay. I'll preface. So like sometimes bad day at work, you're just upset.
Just take it out on her.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it, dude. Once you said that, I was like, no, George, don't do it. George.
Wait for the people.
And it just like puts you in a bad mood and you're
Yeah.
irritable, and like she's there. You know
Where is
that.
this going?
let me finish.
Okay.
I can't wait.
I'm afraid.
You know that she's not the reason that like you're mad and irritated,
Yeah.
but like you have a feeling that like if she says some it's gonna be some dumb and it's gonna irk you.
Yeah.
So I guess like how do you navigate?
Nah, you first.
Nah, you go first.
Come on, you know my take.
No, because
Also like this isn't just me, this happens.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Everyone has bad days. You're not gonna.
That was a
like,
question,
Yeah.
not a statement.
honestly, and I don't know if this is. I think it's more likely to happen the other way around.
Okay.
Always flip it on the women.
Saying
See?
act like a woman?
I mean,
No, if it's a problem, always flip it on them, dude.
it's not bad. It's not a bad approach. So you want to gaslight them. I convince them that it's their fault.
No, it's alright, but go ahead.
This time
finish
we're
your
starting
thought.
with the unhealthy.
Yeah, finish your thought.
I would hope that in your relationship, when you come home after a bad day or whatever negative thing that you've had, your person is what like turns your day around. It's not always going to happen. They're not always going to be
Yeah.
like home with, or like welcoming you home with open arms or blah blah blah. But I would think that seeing her makes your day better.
Okay.
But on top of that, like sometimes you come home and you're just like I'm tired. I don't want. And I think your partner will understand that. And I think that if you are comfortable with your partner, you can very easily just be like, I had a bad day. Like I don't really like. This is not you. This is not me. I just actually it is me. Like I'm just gonna go in my room and like that doesn't mean you ignore your responsibilities to her. You still have like obligations in your
Yeah.
relationship that you just if she's having a bad day too, maybe recognize that like, she needs you too.
Okay.
But bad days happen. I think all you can do is just be honest and like again, everything depends, right? So you assess the situation. If you're both having bad days, maybe you both need to just like take an hour to yourselves first.
Okay.
Maybe you both just like, hey, we both had bad days. Let's put everything on pause and hang out together to like make our relationship even stronger. There's no like singular answer. I would say the one thing not to do is what I said, which is take it out on her. That's not fair. That's not okay.
It depends if your first option doesn't work.
It's true. Yeah. No.
Okay.
If she still says stupid stuff, you just go.
So be very communicative.
I mean, communications. Everyone's gonna tell you, communication is key in a
answer, yeah.
relationship. But like, you say that, but then it's the practice. It's how do I, Arsany, communicate with my partner, who is a completely different person, who communicates differently than me, who wants different things than me. Like, how do we make it work? And for some people, it'll be easier than others. And you just gotta find like your gel, I guess. Whatever works for the two of you.
Okay. Good answer. All right. Follow up.
Oh,
Well,
lit.
actually, you had something you wanted to say about the
No,
question.
I was gonna say something if George didn't touch it, but like I'm just a very direct person,
Okay.
and I like prefacing things.
Yeah, but you're also a troll. See, you don't do that with your significant other.
No,
Oh, yes, he does.
Oh, okay.
I get in trouble.
So you would walk inside.
No,
and
but
be like,
never. Okay, first of all, no matter who you are, whether it's significant other or friend, and this is where I get in trouble because I don't ever troll on serious things. But my problem is, I don't think it's serious, but the other person might think it's serious.
I get in trouble for that a
Right?
lot.
And so
I mean,
get in
no, I
trouble
don't.
because I think it's not that really serious. So I'm gonna troll at it, and then I'm like, oh, whoops, my bad.
I'm gonna get you in trouble more.
But no, I'm a good. I really rely on prefacing things, but that requires you to be aware of your emotions. So like naturally, if I'm having a really bad day and she says some stupid, it might set me off.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I maybe react in maybe like a negative way or like kind of reserved or like I'm not with her in the moment, I can see how she reacts, and then it makes me go, "Oh wait," it's like, "What did I do?"
Yeah.
And then I have to like,
I
bam,
see.
direct immediately.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. You heard about that? Because I'm sorry, I'm having a really bad day.
Okay.
I might react in certain ways. I'm sorry. Just give me a little bit, like a patience or something.
Okay.
What's your follow up?
What if you are hanging out and then like she's the one that is irritating you?
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
And what happens? What do you do?
Address it. Like I don't know. You're talking to two people who are like.
We're I would think we had two different answers.
I was just be like, yo.
Like, what if it's something that's like?
So yeah, because go ahead. You show me what your answer is.
Actually, yeah, you answer.
In a general, someone else's relationship.
Like someone.
And I'll give you a general of someone else's relationship of how we attack.
I would say that if someone does something to piss you off,
Yeah.
if it's her or whatever, like you just address it. Just like, yo, why? Like one of the biggest things, and if you haven't heard the 7 Habits podcast, you should go listen to
Horrible.
7 Habits. They're not good, but it touches on what I'm about to say next. One of the biggest things that I took away from that book is seek first to understand before being understood.
Yeah.
So while you may be pissed off, you're going to have to check yourself and just be like, hold on, why?
Mm-hmm.
Could you explain to me this? This is how this, like, and then try to get whatever it is that she did is coming from before you start saying, okay, this hurt my feelings because all of a sudden now you're just attacking this person they're going to get defensive and they're going to be like, oh, I made you feel this. Well, like, you shouldn't have felt that way. I was just joking around. I was just doing this. And it turns into a fight.
I see.
So slow it down. Be direct. Just be like, but again, try to first understand where it came from. And like slow yourself down and be like, okay, was she trying to piss you off? Because I promise you half the time the answer is
Times what?
the answer is no. She's not trying to piss you off.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The other half, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
It's like I can't tell which is real personal, which one isn't.
You gotta throw it both out there and let
Which
the
one-
audience
there you go.
decide.
Which one the troll, which one isn't. I'm a bit different in my first response.
Yeah.
I'm with George and like I like that dive deep in like where is this originating from?
Mhm.
Because if we're not going to address it, you're never going to get over it.
Yep.
So definitely we need to talk about it, right?
Okay.
But that is my first option if it's to a serious degree, like intensity levels.
Yeah.
If it hits above like the serious, oh, we gotta talk about it immediately.
Okay.
If it's not, I usually am pretty silly with my significant other
Okay.
or loving. It's either silly or loving, like affectionate.
Okay.
Kill it with kindness, kind of basically like this mood, this bad, like grumpy mood that you're
Yeah.
kind of in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be either really silly with you or I'm gonna be like really affectionate with you to see if I can get you out of it real quick.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, and then it's
Wait,
like, all right,
so you get irritated.
yeah.
You're gonna start being affectionate and silly?
No, the other way around. You're talking about if my significant other is like in a bad mood.
No.
If they're taking
they
out
piss you
frustration
off.
on you.
Yeah, if they're mad and they see, we understood it.
That's how I understood. Like, so the first question was like, if you come home from work and you were frustrated, right? And like, how do you address it with your partner?
Yeah.
The way that we understood the
Okay,
follow up
okay.
was if that person comes back and they're frustrated with you,
Yeah.
how do you handle that?
But we'll go through that question first, and then I'll reiterate.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I guess I'm done with my answer.
Okay.
Like I meet her with kind of love first.
Okay.
If it's not as serious, and if that doesn't kind of change the mood, that's like, all right, we got to talk about it.
So what I meant was the first one was like you had a bad day at work, work's what's on your mind, work's pissing you off, and then that's how you deal with that.
Okay.
The second one is what's pissing you off. Instead of work, like
It's her.
it's her.
Oh, she's pissing. me
Yeah.
off.
I think same answer for me. Like it's still
Yeah,
the same.
yours stood still. That's why I
Yeah.
wasn't confused.
Yeah.
Yours was like a
Oh.
different answer.
I'm a different personality
When she pisses
when
you.
she pisses me off.
Yeah.
Meaning,
How so?
Depends on how badly. I've never came across a situation where, well, no, there's been one, but that just needed to have a fight or argument or conversation to be had multiple times. But on other times, I'm a very kind of take it. I'll address it if I think this is an issue that will be in the future. But if it's just like something that's like, annoying me, I kind of just take it. Not to say that's a healthy way, but like I feel like I can and be fine,
okay.
which for the most part is what happens.
Can I ask you something?
Okay.
Who?
No. Next
Well,
question.
so I think he wants to ask me the question then. So I'll ask Arsany, and then you can be a part of it if
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
like.
all right, that's fine.
Yeah. So
Wait, can you ask him if you can?
if you guys are wondering who the number one troll is, as we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, we've established this. Who do you think is more likely to? Do you think that there's a someone who's more likely in your relationship?
Okay.
Is there someone?
We'll get there, folks. We'll get to
one way or another.
One
way or another. In your particular relationship, do you think that there is one person who's more likely to get annoyed than the other?
Yes.
The Jeopardy
You don't
theme
have to,
song.
you
while
don't
he's
have to say
thinking.
who, but do you have that person in mind?
I think it's me. I think
I was thinking that too, but
I could get irritable. I think.
I saw this morning.
Yeah, bro.
The toilet?
No.
Wait, that's what I thought.
Oh, I mean after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all different pages
Yeah.
right now.
Welcome to the craziness that is the Florida house.
The Florida house.
Yeah, he wasn't making a joke. He's being legit, like irritable. I was the one making the joke.
About
The toilet.
Yeah. What?
Anyways,
Yeah.
this is-
No.
Let's move on.
This
From
is
this.
bad. This is
That
just-
flopped.
This is just
It's
crashing and burning.
It's whatever. All right.
But in your relationship, you think you're the one that's more likely to get irritated than.
At the moment,
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
You?
You weren't supposed to ask me a question.
Right, can you ask him real quick if.
what he said.
Was that the question?
Yeah.
What he said?
So in your relationship, Justin.
Yeah.
I love that we have this on camera, by the way. I just love that we have this on
Between
camera.
you and your fiance,
Yeah.
who do you? Is there a specific person that you think is more likely to get irritated?
Yeah.
And who? If you don't have to answer, but
Oh,
you care to share?
my significant other,
Okay.
which is fine.
I think I have a tendency to lean in that direction.
I don't. You said you
In
have
general.
you have a tendency
Not-
to heavily.
not-
no, look at the sentence you just
Not
said.
No,
in
you
my
said
relationship.
It has a tendency to lean in that direction.
No,
Yes.
heavily lean.
Heavily? You said heavily? I didn't hear
Yes.
heavily.
Yeah,
You
we-
said
we-
heavily?
I'll say it.
That's not.
It's on camera.
It's on camera, we
I
gotta
can't
record
rewind. Again, not in my relationship, but I'm saying in general, as a general topic,
as a
in most
general.
relationships, I think it has a tendency to lean that way.
I think it might eventually lean that way for me.
I think so as well.
I don't know.
But who knows, right?
I
Like,
don't know. I actually don't know.
everybody's an individual. There's no general rules for anybody.
So,
I think
I ain't getting canceled for that.
yo, this might be a spicy podcast.
I think
Yo, this might be the podcast. I don't think there's gonna be another topic, bro.
I function better when someone's irritated at me versus when I'm irritated at them.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I agree. No, I agree with that.
You think you function better
Because
when someone's irritated at you?
I think I'm much harder to cheer up than most people.
No,
Yeah.
I think you just seclude yourself.
I think he's way more stubborn.
Yeah.
Like
And that makes it
stubborn-minded in the moment. I personally, this is just my experience with you.
But it's like weird to compare like you functioning when someone's mad at you versus when you're
upset.
mad at someone. Like obviously when you're mad at someone, it seems more negative.
No, I think
Is that
Arsany's
on
more
you?
intense. I don't think he gets upset very frequently, but when he does, it's going to be a lot harder to bring him to like chill out than another person.
I think I tend to just like need a minute.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That real quick, not to say that I know all these answers or anything.
I
Yeah.
do.
That can be dangerous in relationships.
What?
That 1 minute that you only got a minute.
I know that.
But like minutes more like it's not actual minute,
Yeah.
but like
You know what I'm saying?
taking
though.
the space away.
Like you can't just be like.
Some people
I
could
need
be
a
fine with
second.
that, but
Other people not.
other people,
So,
yeah.
I would say more commonly are not fine with that.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be interesting once you get into like again that comfortable area in your relationship where you guys can have those open dialogues
Mhm.
and you figure out your like how you solve problems. That's going to be like a really big part of the relationship. It's like how do we address problems? Like, that's going to be a big part of it, but it doesn't come till later on. Like there's in the beginning, everything's fresh and new and nice. Like there's no
Mhm.
really there is no problems because just there isn't at the moment.
I would say that as you're gonna have natural reactions, but if you are the person that takes like a minute to at least communicate that and be like, "Hey, right now I'm like really frustrated. I just need a minute to kind of process."
Mhm.
In a very nice way, first of all, in a respectful way. But I still would say, like, as time grows, that you're probably gonna need time to figure out yourself and work that out.
Yeah.
What, needing the minute?
Yeah.
Also, I just want to throw this out there for any kind of confrontations in general. Confrontations don't have to end right there on the spot. It's nice to address them, talk about them, and say we need to address this at some point or like talk about it. I'm not saying kick the can down the road, right? Like you don't want to like have it get prolonged
Wait,
forever.
that means something completely different.
Kicking the can down the road?
Do you know what kick the can means?
Yeah, just like basically you just I'm gonna deal with the problem at a later date. So I understand
I
what it
think you've
means.
been using that phrase wrong your whole life, dude.
I've never heard that phrase in my life.
Kick the can means death.
No,
No,
kicking the
kick the
can.
bucket means death.
No, kick the can also.
Really? I've
Put in
never.
the comments down below which one's
Yeah.
right because I know I'm right. So and
Okay.
he knows he's right. So
Uh-oh. This is gonna be bad.
let's go. I can't wait till this one needs to get posted
Hey,
ASAP.
Justin, edit this out. If you're wrong, edit this out.
George, review this one. But like, don't like. It's okay to like when you have problems to just be like, "Hey, we talked about this. I thought we resolved it, but in actuality, I still have like lingering feelings, and can we like, or I've changed my mind, or like this is what I want." Like, that's okay. Like, problems aren't going to be solved in a day. Like,
Wait,
that's
so I have a question then. Is it better to like not take the minute, try to formulate what you're feeling and express that, or take the minute, really dig deep and be like, maybe I was irrational and express that
well. First of
later?
all, they're not irrational. Only you're irrational.
I would,
No, that's what I said.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
I was, yeah.
I would.
I was making a joke.
This is me personally projecting. First of all, not to say that this is going to work for your relationship.
Okay.
All right. I would say for the person you are now, understanding who you are now, take the minute, because I don't know how quick you are at processing your emotions, and if you can formulate so you can communicate that to your partner.
Okay.
I would say work towards getting better at understanding your emotions so you can communicate it better, so you don't need to take that minute as time goes along.
Okay.
But if it's better for you to take that minute, communicate it to your partner, take that minute so then you can communicate it over. Because, yeah, if you're not really good at kind of understanding and communicating your feelings, don't kind of just spit out what you think at the moment, because it might not be the right thing.
I think it's more okay. So let's say in the moment you're like a little more irritable and they're doing something, and then you're
Is it going to
like
piss you off, or is it just doing something?
just doing something
You know, that pisses you off.
that pisses you off.
You're
Got it,
doing
okay.
something.
And in the moment you're like, well, this is why I'm feeling this kind of way, and like you're doing this, this, and this, and then you give it a minute, and later, and you're like, sure, that's a thing, but I could have just been patient and sucked it up if you were in a clear head.
I will tell. Yeah. So like your reaction, how you want to react in a heated state versus just like, give me a minute. Miles different. Like, if you react, even afterwards, like, let's say you react in a heated moment,
Yeah.
you're gonna go back and you're like, damn, that caused more issues than like than it was worth, right? Like I should have just like taken a sec to just like address how I want to like talk about it, especially like early on in the relationship. I don't know. Like I said, I think that in an early relationship, you're figuring that stuff out, and you're going to figure out a system that works for you guys. Maybe you guys can talk about it right there. You're both really good at processing your emotions right there, and you can talk about it and be like, okay, all right, we're good. All right, moving on. Or maybe you both just need to go to a different room and just like take a deep breath, process. Okay, now I'm ready to talk about it.
Mhm.
It just depends on the relationship and who the people are. I think for you, yeah, take a minute.
For now.
Deceptive ass. Okay.
This guy. I want to ask about that.
Wait, hold on. I again, I'm gonna preface with this is me projecting like how I feel.
Mhm.
Might not work for you. The sentence you said that like if I just took the moment and realized and been more patient, I kind of just sucked it up,
Yeah.
is a dangerous thought to have, because you might take a moment and it goes both ways. So yeah, it might be not a big deal
hmm
and you just sucked it up and it's fine. Or it could just be you took a moment, you calmed down, it didn't mean anything, and then it kind of just lingers. And like the next fight or something like way down the road, it'll build that small thing just because you let it go and you sucked it up. It's gonna build on top of a next fight.
Okay.
Because like say like I don't know, you didn't do this like 5 times in a row, and or she didn't do something and you let it go. The 6th time might be like a breaking point for you, because you're like, wait, I look back at it and you've done this 5 times. This is a problem, I'm gonna like blow up. Versus that's why I say you need to work towards getting to this point of really understanding your emotions to communicate it. So whether or not you think it's a big deal or not, I can communicate it towards you in a healthy way, so I can kind of get closure and address it, so I don't have to hold on to it. Because sometimes I feel like as men also, I'll hold on
Oh,
to
so it's
stuff.
about men now. Okay, continue.
Go.
This is the whole podcast. We'll hold on to stuff even though we feel like I let go of it. Because
Okay.
it'll come up much later down the road, and it'll affect you, even though you thought, dude, I didn't even think anything of it.
Preach.
Okay, so
Preach.
it is always better to address.
Yes,
Okay.
because I think in a healthy relationship, you should be able to bring any thought you have with your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Every
It's just-
thought? Oh man, something just kind of keeps
you
you.
should be comfortable
Yeah.
with every thought and understanding how you can communicate that thought. Now that's up to you.
Yeah.
Because you could definitely fall with that side of it.
Dude, we should
But-
write a book.
What's your book called? We got
It's coming soon. No. Oh my God, they stole it. That's gotta be a
dude,
bleep.
they stole it.
Yeah, it's coming out. So for that bleep was the title of the book that will be coming out. It's a relationship-based book solely for men. Will coming out probably in the next like
Wait,
10 to
real-
15 years.
Real quick, can you say a different title? And I'll take this audio bite and dub it over.
That's gonna be so much work for you.
It's not that hard.
Oh God! All right. So the book is called "How to Lose a Woman in 50 Days."
Got it.
That's hilarious.
I got a question for you.
Ooh.
What's up?
Obviously, 2 months in. Oof, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. 3 months in to the relationship. Like as I think, yikes! You better figure it out.
I have the date saved.
Good man. Keep it saved.
I have a reference.
Um,
She didn't get mad at me. Yeah.
what is the most unexpected thing that has happened in the relationship, or like feeling that you've had in the relationship? And what's the thing that you're most concerned about?
The most unexpected?
I was like, or like something that just like you didn't like when you imagine being in. I feel like people think about being in a relationship and they think about all like the lovey-dovey feelings or whatever.
Mhm.
But like, what's one thing in the relationship that maybe is like, especially like it still being fresh, like that you're like wasn't expecting this, but
I guess one thing was that like because it is long distance, I didn't expect it to be so like hard to interact almost because she's in school still,
Right.
super busy, like one of her hardest semesters,
Mm.
and I'm working during the day, and then she has like work too. So like sometimes we both have time to FaceTime at night, but we're both gassed anyway. So like
the interactions aren't maybe
The-
like a full energy.
exactly, yeah. That's why like I got a call this morning. I had energy and I was like so happy.
Mm.
They're so
That's
cute.
cute.
Yeah, but like I think that's been my biggest thing.
So cute. Arsany is growing up.
Young love, man. Don't you remember?
I was never young. I had 60-year-old knees.
Dang.
But I guess it was more navigating, I guess, the long distance, constant interaction.
What was your second part of your question?
What's one thing you're worried about? Well, I guess they could be both.
Well, one
Oh,
thing
long
I'm worried
distance?
about,
Yeah.
long distance will end eventually.
Yeah.
One thing I'm worried about, not super worried about,
The irrational part?
and
It's coming.
I'm excited for the irrational part because you know how you deal with irrationalness, irration.
With
what's,
love.
Say it right?
what's the noun? Irration?
Irrationality?
A rash?
Oh yeah, you know how
No, I
you
think they
deal
have a
with
cream for that.
you know how you deal with irrationality.
Love.
More irrational. No, I'm joking.
I would do that. See how that works out
Yeah,
for
you tell me,
you.
I want a science experiment. You tell me how that goes.
You could be the start of a whole new trend.
No, I'm excited.
You don't love me? You asking me you don't love me? You don't love me by asking that?
I love it.
It's so good.
Deeper.
Turns into just loveception. Just like you're questioning whether I question whether you question whether I love you.
What am I most worried about?
I got a question for you.
Hmm.
It might be too wholesome.
Aw,
For this podcast.
lame.
Yeah.
What qualities of your partner would you like your parents to see
Um,
that you know she has?
I think
Her misogyny.
that
Oh, if we only recorded it.
Hey, if they only knew her.
when my parents see me interact with them around the house, I'm like throwing punches in my dad's face, like not connecting, just like shadow box.
Damn.
Everyone
Good morning, Boa.
what's the reverse of like child abuse, like parent abuse? Just everyone's calling.
Every morning, I just
Give them a 1, 2, just remind them who's boss.
And I'm like poking and prodding and like just kind of jumping around, joking with them, like watching my anime, just like being
A child.
myself and a child. Yeah, I'm being my inner child.
Yeah.
And I think when they
inner.
they envision me with a girl, they probably like he's like probably muhtaram, like obedient, not obedient.
Is that what it means?
Respectful?
Yeah,
Or-
like respectful, like
Oh, so
like upright,
opposite
put
of-
together.
not childish.
Yeah,
Opposite of childish.
opposite.
Opposite of
They're-
childish.
And I think
Opposite.
I'm excited for them to see that
There's
I
someone
will
out there who
still
accepts
be-
you as a child.
Yeah, I will still be the exact same while she's
That's
like
nuts.
question. They are expecting you to be with someone like that because they think that will tame the
You.
high energy childish side. Is that why you're saying that?
They probably think I like act different around like my lady.
Oh wait, okay. The answer to your
Oh, so she's
the
yours
reason why
now.
you're saying
You think she's property.
Hey, yo, chill. The reason why you said that's your answer is because you want your parents to see that you don't change with your significant other.
I want them to see that.
Because it sounded like the assumption was that your parents are expecting you to be with someone who is respectful, not obedient, respectful, and kind, because they think that'll bring down the punches. And
No,
the
no.
kicks.
I was just saying that's how they expect me to act with her.
Yes.
Okay.
But they'll be glad that you won't be like that.
I hope so.
I think
And I hope that they'll appreciate her acceptingness of my child.
Okay.
no, like, you can be yourself. Like that, you could have a playful relationship. Like you can have that. Like doesn't have to be so serious in a relationship
Yeah.
type of thing. I get that.
Mhm.
Especially in like an Egyptian culture, I definitely get that. Like,
Yeah.
that you can have just like a more chill relationship.
For traditional parents, and not just say just Egyptian, like just I feel like this is an immigrant thing. Is that a factor of, that traditional immigrant parents look for in their child's relationships? That kind of like childlike freeness? Because I don't think so.
No,
Not my parents.
in a traditional relationship, especially Egyptians, and you can
No, like
Yeah.
I'm looking at my child's relationship,
Mhm.
not between them.
yeah,
That's not something that they're looking for
in the
in
relationship.
their child's relationship.
To his point, I think it's more like that. I'm looking for that my child can be themselves, so they're not like hiding a part of who they are when they're with their partner. Like if I see him, like
I get that.
yeah,
But I'm saying it's very progressive for his parents to think that and cherish that type of quality.
yes, that's
I-
progressive. That's super progressive for Egyptians.
Because I don't.
How dare you be yourself in a relationship? But that is yes, progressive.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I 100% agree.
You know what I mean?
Every
Oh,
Egyptian,
yeah, that sounds obvious.
It
Almost
does
to
sound
every
obvious.
other.
yes. To every other culture, yes.
Yes. But I think if I bought my significant other home and the second she entered the house and I'm with my parents,
She
I
just
start,
goes yo yo yo.
I start acting like hands behind my back, yes, baba, walking like one foot in front of the other, like a normal person. They'll be
I was
like,
gonna say.
"What's going on?
How else do you walk?
What's going on? This guy's usually jumping, not walking."
Wait, hold on, no, wait. But do you think if you were like very like what a traditional immigrant parent thinks their child should be, like a very model citizen, they would be so put off by you, or they would be happy that you were like that?
They would call you out. I don't think they would know how to react.
I don't think they'd be like, "Whoa, dude, what's going on? What's wrong?"
Yeah, we 100% do.
They would.
No, they wouldn't. I think they'd be like, "Oh my gosh,
Bronchosaurus.
thank you." Oh,
No, I
I'll
don't.
leave that out. Thank you so much.
I don't think they would address it, but there would be an immense amount of unease, like in the air.
Really, I thought there'd be some respect.
I don't think so.
I don't know about that.
Interesting.
I think so. Growing up, my whole life, the thing I heard the most was Arsany, please sit down.
Well, hold on, that's valid.
Valid.
That was
no,
valid.
100%. Well,
Yo.
but it's been. I'm 23. It's been 23 years.
And you're still not sitting down, dog. I
And
don't
I'm
want you.
still not sitting down, and my parents are like happy with me now. so,
That's called defeat. Just wait till you're in a relationship.
so I grew on them. It's what we're gonna call it.
What you just described is a 10-year relationship.
That's funny.
So the fact that what took them years to grow on them is just already accepted. I think they'd be happy with that.
Maybe again, I could be wrong. I just feel like no matter they are accepting you now, but as a traditional immigrant parent, they're still thinking there's a possibility of my child being this like really model citizen when it becomes to their spirituality, their career, and their marriage or father.
I think that you could be both.
You can be a playful person and still be responsible to.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm not saying that
You
that's
make
not
it sound like I'm
no,
some
I'm
delinquent.
not saying that's impossible. But again, I could be projecting. Of a traditional immigrant won't tie those. Don't think that's possible.
It's not that they don't think it's possible. They just have a preference, and they definitely have a preference that you're the more serious one. But like after growing up with somebody for 23 years, and they know the kind of person that you are, right? If you start acting different, they may want you to start acting and being like the professional, like I am the responsible
much like,
elder, yada yada yada.
Not so like, oh, hello, how are you? Wonderful weather, blah, 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 like this. But like,
Why are you saluting your parents?
I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe you're thinking when I say model citizen that you're just like this kind of uptight person.
I think traditional immigrant parents want that. Yeah,
I was thinking more just like less antics. It doesn't mean you're like super uptight. You don't have to go 100% the other way.
dude. I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting here, but I think immigrant parents just want a thing that they can brag about to their friends.
Oh no,
Where they can be like,
you're not
my child did this,
think
my
that's
child
fair.
does
You're
that.
not projecting.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like no one's gonna go be like, look at my child. We'll never sit down.
It's like, yeah, I can brag about him, but he also acts like a child.
They probably leave that part out.
Yeah, not.
Interesting.
But my point still stands.
I agree.
Okay.
Because I don't think they care about bragging about me as much. They just appreciate me and enjoy.
Are we gonna turn this into? I'm down to turn this into a
That's
relationship
correct.
podcast and just keep going because we're already probably 45 minutes in.
No, 100%. Wait, real talk.
Hour 20.
Oh
No way, we're at an hour
yeah,
20.
we are. Wait, hold on.
Look.
Yeah, we are. Hold on. Wait, let me say this. Damn it.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. What you didn't really answer my question because I asked you what qualities does you
Bronchosaurus.
have that you want your parents to see, and your answer was how you will be with her.
It was just the fact that she could accept that. But I could give you a
Damn,
more
you're selfish, dude.
of an answer.
It's gonna be a selfish relationship. Keep going. Watch out, girl. Like you got work cut out for you. Continue.
Yeah, bro.
I think it. I think the I gotta think.
Probably that
Jeopardy-
she's just as
Jeopardy
goofy as
song.
you.
Yeah, that's what I want to say, but I wanted to word it. I think we complement each other well, and the qualities that she shows that
You always gotta be included.
show that
This guy.
It's about me. It's my relationship.
Yeah,
It's my
dude.
relationship.
Oh, leader.
she.
No, we ain't talking about that.
She's
I ain't
like.
doing it with a 50-foot pole, bro. I'm on camera.
I gotta be careful.
That's funny.
No, she doesn't take herself too seriously. She's very lighthearted and she jokes around. I in the beginning I would poke at her. I'm like, dude, you gotta troll me more. Like, haha, make fun of me. Now she doesn't need to be prompted.
Now she knows.
Which
There's
is
just
good.
so much ammunition.
So I don't know, the fact that she's just lighthearted, a genuine joking person that kind of compliments what I am.
What I am.
I
And
think
by
it-
him
He's about to
again.
break into song.
What I am. What I am.
But okay, so here's a follow-up question.
Mhm.
Do you think you
Bronchosaurus.
will ever become comfortable enough with your parents to show that?
Oh, see, that's a good question. I think only time will tell. But from how I've heard about her parents, they seem very similar to mine.
Troll?
First, no. Well, you call my parents troll?
No, Bubba.
Yeah. They seem very similar to mine, not even first gen. Immigrants?
Immigrants.
Yeah. Immigrants that have calmed down through the test of children.
Fair.
And are just chill, slightly Americanized and like retired doing their own thing.
Chilling.
I could see those parents being the closest with my parents out of the already established couples of my brothers. If
Hmm.
Oh, that's a good sign.
that makes
That's a
sense.
great
That's
sign.
a great sign.
The parents seem compatible.
That's actually a big one.
Yeah.
What's a for everybody watching?
Yeah.
What's I guess all three of you. I don't know why I keep saying three.
Yeah, bro. Let's manifest it.
all 30,000 million of you.
You said
All-
30,000 million.
I said all.
We know who's the idiot and we know who's the expert.
all 3 million of
There we
you.
go.
For all you viewers out there,
There we go.
what's something that you've like learned in your relationship that you want to share with people?
Something I've learned.
Yeah.
It's a
Um,
deep question.
I learned that
You don't listen to George.
If you want an unhealthy relationship, don't listen to me. If you want a healthy relationship, listen to me.
I learned if like you want to kind of boost a little, not shortcut, but like an amplifier and like learning about the person. Traumatic experiences tend to help.
Yikes! Do not say that. I said that on the first date once. Not a good idea. Let me tell
No,
you.
shared traumatic experience.
Okay. All right.
For example, thank God no one was hurt. I think I told you guys already. Like we got rear-ended when I was visiting her in Iowa, and like it was on the highway. It was like kind of scary. I was like jolted a bit. Everyone was fine. But like sharing that experience with her, like being able to like see how she processed it, see how I could attempt to comfort her. I think I did okay.
If anybody needs somebody wants me to crash into their car,
That's what I feel like I'm getting
let me
from
know.
No, this is the advice you
Yeah, like I'm down.
Get into a traumatic experience.
So yeah, this podcast will double as a hired rear end agency.
Yeah, we ain't making no money off this podcast.
Yeah.
Gotta pay the bills somehow. So
We're the rear enders.
You really want to strengthen your relationship?
I'm down. Get the
if
LLC.
you want to strengthen your rear end,
Do you need to get rear-ended today?
yo, that's gonna be a skit.
We have the capacity.
Yo, we can make a skit for that before this airs. That's
100%.
lit.
Wait, no, I'm gonna write that down, dude. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's so funny.
What about you, Justin? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I mean, that was it. But yeah,
Shared trauma, love it.
shared
Shared
trauma
trauma is crazy.
helps. Weird enough.
We've got advice for
Something that you would
relationship?
literally tell a
Well,
stranger.
What do you think of my advice? I'm
The
curious.
shared drama. Oh yeah,
shared
let's.
trauma.
I think it's got some issues.
Let's talk about.
I think like don't go out of your way. But like, okay,
You're saying not to hire rear enders?
The advice you're telling to a stranger, if you're saying you need to, it's weird to like, you did it naturally, but it's weird like if that's advice. Now I have to find what our shared trauma is, or get into something that will be.
Okay, I
our
think
shared trauma.
what you take away from the advice that I gave you is that even if the experience seems like pretty horrible at the surface, there's always something that you could possibly gain and strengthen your relationship from.
So I'll tell you
it.
this: there's a whole theory and like psychology behind. I just listened again, and I just feel like a lizard man. Ever since you guys said it, I think I'm a lizard man.
There's some
There's somewhere. No, but there's a whole psychology behind like a shared trauma type thing. And while it can bring you closer together and like you guys can like there's a shared bond, not just like something that you experienced together for like so your example, you guys were in like a similar car accident or the same car accident versus people who have shared trauma like they both experienced, let's say, abusive parents or just whatever. There's a whole psychology of like dependency and like this person like gets it like they're the only one, and there's like trauma bonding, which can be very unhealthy. So just checking yourself on that kind of thing.
That's good.
Like I can't leave this person even though they're doing all these things. Like this is like it's just a trauma bond is a thing that can be very dangerous sometimes. But to your point, yes, sharing an experience together, 100% can make your relationship stronger. Because like you both know how you deal with that traumatic experience and how you would handle yourselves going forward.
So go seek those kids.
Come find what do we call ourselves?
The rear enders.
The rear enders. Call today.
Call today. 1-800.
Wait, rear end is 7 letters. It's 1-800 rear end.
Oh, rear end. Oh, lit.
The
No,
end.
100% want to make that into a skit.
I'm so down.
That's so funny. You say, okay, so advice I would give to a stranger.
Yeah, let's say some of this
about
person just entered into a
relationships.
relationship with come to you.
Okay,
Hey, Dustin.
this is a topic. This is what actually was going to cover what I was wanting to talk about today.
Okay.
We are an hour and a half. This might take us another like 30, 40 minutes.
I'm just asking for advice, bro. I ain't here for a dissertation.
No, but here's the thing. I'm going to say something, and it's probably going to be a topic that you can really explore.
Yikes. All right, go for it.
I hear it.
I think people need to let go of their pride.
I mean, I don't see how that can go into a 30 minutes.
I think it's done there. Like, I agree.
I
Yeah, I'm
think-
with you 100% on this.
No, but here's the thing. And I think you guys are saying it like it's easy.
Oh, it's not
I
easy.
don't
The
think
practice
it's
is
easy.
insane. To do it is a completely different thing. I agree with you in the statement.
Because I feel like there's a lot of pride in this room.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I am prideful.
I could share that when I talk to a lot of
Bronchosaurus.
the time, I feel very dumb and I have to remind myself that we have our strengths. It's okay to not be the smartest.
That is the opposite of pride, my dog.
No.
We need to talk about.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you want to be on a podcast looking humble? Dude, this guy.
No, I mean, I have to like hammer that in my brain. Like, that's not the predominant thought. Like, I'm like, what the f? You're not allowed to be smarter than me. That's the surface thought.
Ooh, okay. So that's just pride talking.
So that's the pride.
Oh.
And sorry, that thought that I said that was humble is what
Yeah,
I need
dude.
to write on the whiteboard 50 times over.
I don't
You
want to like
understand?
spike the mic, but I'm clapping for you right now. Like that is. I understand that you didn't mean to do this on purpose, but you just looked so
Do
good.
you want this out? The fact that you said that? I could bleep that out.
Nah, he looks good.
I feel like you haven't discussed that with
He looks good.
I haven't discussed it. She's so damn smart. I hate it.
Oh my god, she's so awesome.
But no, I don't care. You
That's
keep
so
it.
funny.
No, but I agree with like 100% that you need to check your pride, and that's something that I want to say that I am working on. I don't do it well, and
But like pride in terms and the 50-50 type of mindset, people easily go, oh yeah, obviously. But like I
What do
see
you
in
mean
everyday
50-50?
practice. Like meet me halfway. This is a relationship. You should be.
I think it's a more Americanized thing.
I don't like
I
50-50.
don't believe in
No,
that.
I promise you guys do it. I do it, even though I tried not to.
I mean, I
Because
don't.
like here's an example.
Yeah.
General thing, right? Say a woman's being irrational.
Yeah.
Like 9 times she's irrational, right? And then you're like, no, don't wear that or whatever. And she's like, and she says the words, you're being irrational right now.
Yeah.
Your instant feeling is going to be like, it's past like 9 years you've been irrational. What are you talking about? And so it's already heightened.
You pop out
because
your
in
list.
your mind, you're like, yeah, you're like, what are you talking about? I'm being irrational. Bam. You use that as like a evidence of your argument
Okay.
because it's so unfair and like not evenly
Yeah.
that there's no way you can call me out for being irrational.
Okay.
Not so much like, hey, I did like all these chores and you barely did anything, even though that could be a fight. I just feel like that side is a lot more frequent than it is than actual quantitative 50-50.
Okay. I see.
So
Quantitative or what is, I don't know. What the
there's
word
there's
is.
a fine line, and it's difficult because there's a difference between expressing how you feel, which is just like, and pride, right? And you can, and I think that a lot of times you use your pride in arguments.
No, wait, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I'll explain why what I just said was pride. Because I feel like you think what I just said wasn't pride.
no, I think it is pride.
Oh, okay.
Because you're saying that like, yo, I've dealt with all of this, or like I have evidence to show, yada yada yada. You don't have the right to say that I am being irrational or that whatever. And again, that's your pride talking, because maybe you are irrational. Maybe you're not checking yourself in that very moment.
Yeah, I
Or
just
am I
think
off on that?
it kind of touches on it. I just think the overall idea of like, I don't want to be either A, stupid, or B, wrong. And that's pride talking.
I agree.
So when I argue, when we go through these things, those are 2 things that pride's not allowing me to be when if I could just be humble and accept humility, that will get me very far.
I'll tell you where I think my pride kicks in, and this is something that I definitely have an issue with, and I'm trying to change
Everywhere?
this. It's the idea of right and wrong. It's just in general, the idea of right and
Yeah.
wrong. I want to be right. Like that's
Yeah.
my pride talking.
Logic.
Whenever, yeah. And I may have evidence for everything and blah blah blah. But in a relationship, the purpose isn't to be right. It's not to like you're trying to build a life with someone. If that person's constantly, even if you are always right, like if that person's constantly hearing I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, like what does that really say about your relationship and where you're trying to go? Is it a relationship or is it you telling another person how to live? Go.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you at any point said, I'm always right?
Bronchosaurus.
Millions of times. But here's the difference though.
Just
I
making
am. I am. See, that's the hard part.
But see,
That's my pride talking, you know? I gotta check that.
But this why I think this right now is so important for me because I came to the realization how a traditional support role is such a lost art and is just as important, if not, I think even more important than the leader. Because if you think a traditional support role, that you can't have no pride doing that.
As a leader, you can't have pride.
Nah, leader has pride. A traditional support,
I disagree.
you just let's not get into it. That's why it's take like 30, 40 minutes.
That's why we won't get into that, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying
I
that,
mean, we had this kind of argument.
I think a
going in
good leader
circles.
doesn't have pride.
And not allowing your woman become leader is a prideful thing. Thinking that allowing my woman to lead is actually me leading is a prideful thing.
I'm not gonna get into that because I can get into some touchy waters. But a good leader. I'm just gonna say that in general. Like I'm talking about everything in work, in church, in life. Like a good leader doesn't have pride.
We could talk, but I just feel like those first two statements I said kind of has pride in it. But what I was saying about traditional support role, I feel like people aren't leaning into that because that takes a lot of like growth and maturity and like a big awareness of a big picture to do, and you have to throw away your pride to fill that role. And that's a hard thing to do.
I think it's because it sounds like what you're saying is that it takes more growth and maturity to get into this supportive role than being the leader. And if you're more mature and experience more growth, you should probably be the leader. It's like a weird little
Circle.
No.
No? Okay. What am I missing?
No. Well, in that tradition, well, here's how I feel or how I think that like this traditional leader role is a not established. This is who is this and who is that. Like it switches. So, but when I am the support role, I need to have no pride to lean into that support role. And when I have growth and maturity, I can do that support role. And then yes, you have growth and maturity when you do lead or experience and wisdom. When you do lead, you are leading in the right direction.
Again, I'm 100% on your side when it comes to pride. Like I think, do I practice it well? No, and that's something that I'm personally working on. But I think it's good advice to check your pride in a relationship 100%. Because when you're in a relationship, it ain't about you. I don't mean that as in like it's not about her either. It's about the relationship.
Yeah.
And both people have to check their pride. And it's a hard thing to do. It's an easy thing to say.
It's so hard.
It's a different thing to practice and say, I don't have to be right now. Or even higher, there is no right and wrong right now. How do we just address the problem? How do we both love each other in this moment?
Legit, I have an analogy. I could do a funny one or I could do a PG one.
Funny.
Okay, I feel like it's like trying to give up masturbation.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So
that was not PG at all.
That's a long struggle
Yeah.
that you constantly have
For
to
some
go
people, it's a short
through.
struggle.
And you could really like practice it like 3 years, but like 9 years down the road, it's still just as hard if you did it like the first year with temptations and all that.
I don't even think so.
Oh, really?
I think it's easier than that.
Okay.
Too.
Well, maybe just me personally.
Yeah, I agree. I'm RC on this one.
I think once you get like comfortable putting your pride aside,
No, but like you
with
might
the
be in the
person-
just phase of like it's easy.
You might have a fall, but if you've genuinely grown as a person and you've been able to check your pride, and you kind of have like a schlip moment, I think you can either like continue on that path and like it ends up being like a snowball effect, or you can just be like, I screwed up, and like I think it would be easier in that very moment to be like, I recognize what I did. I need to. It wouldn't be as hard as when you first started.
I was gonna say alcohol as the PG version, but
I think it's easier to rewire your mentality versus rewire your biology. That's why I just didn't like. I guess I'm getting into semantics, but I just didn't like.
yeah, it's kind of weird because
masturbating.
like biology, it's still is mentally the way your brain's wired.
Either way,
I mean, like-
either way, even biology or whatever, I disagree that it would be just as hard as when you have one fall. I think it's easier if you've had a slip up to try to like tell yourself, I've had a slip up. Let me continue from where I left off. I'm not saying that you're like I'm just saying that look, all your progress isn't gone just because you
I didn't
had a
say
slip
that.
up.
I just think the idea. So let's do it more PG, like alcoholism.
Yeah.
People become sober for like 9 years, and then you have one flip, like that can potentially just get you back
Potentially.
to alcoholism.
Potentially, yes, I
I
agree
see.
that
And that's the
that
pride.
There's a
Oh, okay.
potential of a snowball effect, but there's also a potential of like that person having a drink and just being like, I shouldn't have done that. That was terrible. I felt good in the moment, but I recognize just how bad that was. I'm gonna go back. I'm starting from scratch. I'm at day one. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and that was the same thing with like I guess masturbation for me. That's the funny one where it's like, yeah, I can abstain, and then like for like months or even like years. At one point, I might fall into temptation and be like, oh wait, and I could go either way. I can go like, oh, I'm back doing this habit, or like, all right, I fell. Let me try and get back on this horse.
Always get back up, people. Always get back up.
Well, yeah, alcoholism was probably the better
Okay.
route.
Yes,
But that's the.
I
pride
agree
of
with you.
that.
Yeah. I was just, I think at that point, arguing for the sake of arguing, but
Love
I
it.
agree. I agree.
You're welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
Just trying to fit in here, guys.
But yeah, I'm with George on always being aware of us rather than you or me,
Yeah.
because then I can't have pride in like us. That's gonna just ruin it.
Yeah.
I'm just only thinking of
That's fair.
I.
Another thing
Oh.
to keep in mind is like, is a relationship for you or is a relationship for the
Oh.
relationship?
You could replace the pride you have for yourself with the pride you have in the us.
It was a good try. It
I don't know.
was a good attempt.
I haven't processed that.
No, that's all right.
Thought it was going to be
It's about the
received well.
effort
Hey,
and the thought of
he's
it.
giving the people wisdom.
New
He's
question.
He's new. He's,
He's new. You know what I mean? It's his rookie year. You
Eh,
know,
we're-
let him dribble the ball.
he's not a 10-day contract, right?
You
Like,
know what I
we're,
mean? 10-day contract. Let him practice
Ah.
with the squad at least.
he getting warmed up. He getting warmed up. You still got a few.
I chose to be a guest.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What's your advice? Wait. First of all, do you have any other questions?
Actually, I like just looked at it. We like kind of just answered the rest of them.
we're pretty close to the end. So what's your last?
I mean, the one thing that I would want to tell people is, and it's more of a journey type thing. If you're going to enter a relationship with somebody, is this something that you're going like as the relationship grows? That's why I'm saying it to you, because I think that this is a good time for you to like have this in the back of your mind as your relationship grows. And for anybody who's in a relationship, is the person that I'm with the person that I want to solve all my problems with? Is this the person that when issues arise, can I go to this person? Like, do I not feel like is this person someone that I can open up to about every problem that I have? Because there are some ugly problems that people have, and there are things that people
There's some
don't
ugly
want.
people. Damn.
Some
Yes.
people are ugly. That's the problem.
Yes. Okay, there is some ugly problems.
But is this person the person that I can see myself going to with all my problems? Doesn't necessarily mean that they have to solve all your problems, but through thick and thin, whether I'm a lizard man.
Thick and thin.
This lizard, bro. This guy.
Is this the person that you want to address all your future problems with? Because you're going to. Because it's not going to always be like sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're just gonna have to deal with like real life stuff of, hey, like there's just a bunch of stuff that's going on. Kids need to get picked up. Dinner needs to be made. Trash needs to be taken out. I just lost my job. Like everything piling up. Is this the person that I can solve my problems with? I think that is a great question to have, especially in an early relationship. That's just my advice to people. That's my go-to.
I like that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I hate you.
What?
I don't know why.
It's not bad.
All right, what about you?
This guy, where you been?
What about
where
you?
you been this whole podcast?
Yo, your advice sucked, bro.
That was so bad.
Your 40-minute put your
Monologue?
pride to the side thing was the
Go RC. Yo, this
Oh,
is
yeah,
my
no, it was good advice. I just thought it was
Pity
like
pride? Did you just say my 40-minute pity pride?
no. I said put your pride away.
Oh.
I
that was
just
my
thought
favorite guest that we've had so
bro,
far.
what the heck? I'm about to not.
My
I'm
favorite
about to
guest that
edit
we've
you
had.
so bad in this podcast.
Yo, thank you for joining, RC. That,
No, here's the thing.
I thought that was just another talking point. That's fine. But you go ahead.
No, yeah, it was
Good.
pretty
Good
much
advice.
pride,
I like
but we didn't get into all the avenues I thought we were going to get into because it'd be a very long podcast. So,
Okay.
So anyway, getting into my Shopify topic.
well, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Idiot Sexer podcast. Thanks, Arsany, for dropping by.
Thanks for having me.
Everything that we said is not relationship advice. Do not
You're
hold us
not relationship
accountable.
experts. But tune in next week. I hope you guys enjoyed. If
For next week's guest, me.
I'm gonna hate doing this. See you guys later.
Fist me.